Already 3 weeks of Lent are gone, and only 3 more weeks. Are you happy or sad? Probably, I believe, after the Easter also, you might be kind of desiring to live like in the land, and also, kind of enjoying celebrating the Easter. Well, I believe all of you are trying your best in order to make this Lent fruitful, in order to celebrate the joyful Easter. And I look at your faces, and all of you really kind of willing to do the commandments of the Lord with your love. What a kind of, great fruits and great joy, for our souls that we should have. Well, I also practice, trying my best. However, the good news is I'm putting weight. During my prayer time, and I fell asleep more. And I'm slow, my hands are getting slow to give the donations too. However, it is a journey, so we have to keep reminding ourselves and then to put into practice. Here, a man who had just undergone a very complicated operation kept complaining about a bump on his head and a terrible headache, since his operation had been an intestinal one. There was no earthly reason why he should be complaining of a headache. Finally, his nurse, fearing that the man might be suffering from some post-operative shock, spoke to the doctor about it. And the doctor assured the nurse, "Don't worry about a thing. He really does have a bump on his head." About halfway through the operation, we ran out of anesthetic. So here, we have proper procedure and regulations for the physicians to do to the patients. And also, for the patients also, they have the kind of moral obligation, ethical obligations, and also for his own sake of health. They have to follow the instructions of the physicians too. So, physician, patients, and the proper procedures and instructions. These are 3 things we have to, pay attention and follow properly. Otherwise, although the operation might be successful, in the future, the consequences might not be that good if the patient doesn't follow the instruction well. So today, in the first reading, we heard about God giving the 10 commandments to Moses. This is like a kind of giving the instructions. After making the operations, making the, covenant between man and God. If we follow these commandments, our covenant is going to be fulfilled. So if we go back at the first week of Lent, we heard about Noah and his family, and about the flood. Noah and his family, they were saved from the flood because they follow the laws of the Lord, that they obey God. And then God and Noah and his family made the covenant. However, it was broken again. And at the second Sunday of Lent, we heard about Abraham, our father of faith. We heard about his obedience and his faith. He even offered his only son Isaac in order to be the sacrificial, offering to God. However, God spared because of, Abraham's faith and belief. And then the covenant was made again in order to make the nation bigger, and also the descendants to multiply, and also the kingdom to be, the kingdom. So all these covenants were made. However, these human beings, weak, so broke the covenant again and again. So today we heard about Moses given 10 commandments in order to enter into the promised land. Well, we'll be able to hear whether these people keep their, follow the instruction or not. If they don't follow the instruction properly, the covenant will be broken again, and then we have to bear the consequences. So if you pay attention, in the responsorial psalm, we heard about, the people of Israel. They proclaim how good it is to love the laws of the Lord, how flourishing it is to follow the laws of the Lord. So here, we have to ask ourselves, we are trying to follow the laws because we love, or because we are afraid and we have the fears of damnations? Love should be the only reason we follow the laws of the Lord. So, think about it. At the sport, we have the instructions to follow. If we don't follow the instructions and the rules and regulations properly, it's not going to be a fair sport. Think about the road safety. We have the rules and regulations. If we don't follow the rules and regulations, we might not be enjoying our road trip. We might be even giving the problems to other people, and other people will be giving the problems to us. So that's why, not out of fear, we follow the rules and regulations. For our own safety, for our own goodness, we love these laws and regulations. For the, educational field too, it is painful to study. It is painful to write the papers, to do the homework, to do the assigned readings, and so on and so on. However, we do for our educational growth, for our intellectual growth, and in order to be successful, so on and so on. During this Lent, today 10 commandments are given to Moses and the people. We have to learn how to love these laws and regulations, the commandments given by God, so that our covenant, the covenant which is made between God and us, is going to be, achieved and going to be fulfilled. But in the gospel, we heard about the temple cleansings, like Jesus doesn't have the anesthetic anymore. So he made the whip, and then out of court, and then he drove all these people out. In order for the operation to be successful, God is patient. However, he needs to use his righteous anger too, because he loves us. Today, we heard Jesus showing his authority and not kind of letting these people make his temple kind of den of the thieves. So St. Paul mentioned that, we are also the temple of the Holy Spirit. We have to check what are the things going on in our temple. Are we obsessed with our works? Well, are we obsessed with our pleasures and disordered desires? Here, there are five major things normally we are, obsessed: relationship, love, or our flesh pleasures, and also success, achievement, personal growth, self-improvement, material positions and wealth, and also kind of adventure and experiences and so on. So how many shops in our temple that we let these things open and run the business? We have to check. Or do we give the place for God, or do we kind of make it pure in order for God to dwell in our temple? Otherwise, we have to remember the anger of Jesus. He was making a whip out of God and then driving all these, thieves out of the temple. Well, today, the invitation is, let us reflect, how is our attitude towards the commandments and laws? And how are we keeping our temper for the sake of God, for our own salvation too?